So, hello everyone, and welcome to this new moon meditation for the new moon in Pisces. This is actually the energy of this new moon encapsulates much more than the new moon energy because it's a week with a lot of astronomical events and a lot of energetical movement that we'll go through that together. So, but we'll focus on the new moon as the event that magnetizes and encapsulates all the information. So this new moon, as I just said, is happening in the sign of Pisces at 9 degrees, 40 minutes of Pisces. And depending on where you live, it's happening tonight or tomorrow. At universal time, it's happening at midnight and 44 minutes. So in a few hours, let's say, in 5 hours, something like this. So let's look at the context in which this moon is happening. This week, at the beginning of the week, on Monday, Mars, after having been in retrograde for many weeks, has finally moved forwards. And you probably have felt, I don't know, some energy to do things, to restart project, or to kind of just put more energy into things that were stalling. And this is the effect of Mars going forward. And during this week, since Monday, we have a full week of all planets going forward, which is not going to last for long because this weekend, on Sunday, I believe, the 1st of March, no, that's Saturday, Venus is going into retrograde. And then the dance of going back and forth, the tango of planets will start again for a few months. But at least for this week, we have a lot of forward energy, which is quite powerful. Then remember 4 weeks ago, I mentioned that there was a big celebration in India, and you probably saw Matthias there over the past few days, which is the Mahakumbh Mela, which is an event that happens cyclically every 6 and every 12 years. But it has another bigger cycle, another harmonic cycle of 144 years. And this is what was celebrated this year. There were around 1,400 million people gathering. I don't know if you can imagine that. That's a lot of attention and energy put in celebrating that event, which involves Jupiter, the sun and the moon, and how they are positioned in relation to each other. Then yesterday, there was another big celebration in India again, which is Mahashivratri, which is the great celebration of Shiva, which happens once a year. And it celebrates destruction, rebirth, and all the concepts that Shiva encapsulates. Then, remember, on 26th or 24th of January, the Planetary Parade started, which is a progressive alignment of all the planets of the solar system. And it's culminating during those days. Astronomers have chosen the date of the 28th of February. It will depend on where you are on the globe, but let's say tomorrow, in the mind of everyone, this is when this Planetary Parade culminates, with Mercury being the last one to align with all the other planets. And we have this new moon today, tomorrow. So as you can see, that's a lot of energy being raised, moving around, a lot of shifts happening. And it's intense, not in a Scorpio way, where it takes you to, a high electrified or intense thing like space or time, but it's still a lot of energy to take in. It's a lot of shifts happening, a lot of movement, a lot of realizations, and we'll see exactly what that means. It's really like moving into a new chapter that we're we have like about around 4 weeks to get ready for that, and then we'll move on once again. Remember one thing that is valid for all new moons, and for this one more than ever. New moons are good times for beginnings, to seed ideas, intentions, projects, everything that you want to see grow. This is the moment to seed it. Except that for this moon, we're seeding something much bigger. We're seeding perhaps new lives, new humanity, some things that are really, really huge. I just want to say something about the information and the alignment we're going to do tomorrow. I want to work with this moon in coordination or in conjunction with the Planetary Parade, really to get these energies together, and so that we benefit from that alignment as well. So for those who are participating in tomorrow's event, which is frequency alignment with the planets, where we're going to work, I'm going to work with sound and frequency and color to align our aura and open it up to the planetary energies. Today, we're going to be aligning within, almost like preparing for the session for tomorrow. It doesn't matter if you do tomorrow or not. It's just for those who will be joining tomorrow's session. Today is we're kind of making the most of all the energy that is available by aligning in a certain way today, so that we can expand even more and to even higher frequencies tomorrow. So, new moon in Pisces. Let's remind ourselves of what the archetype of Pisces encapsulates. Remember that Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. And in the process of incarnation, which the zodiac represents, from the first divine spark that incarnates into Aries and goes through the 12 archetypes to end in Pisces, Pisces is the end of this path. So it's the return to the one. It's the return to oneness and to the point of origin. Keep that in mind, because we're going to use that a lot during this period. Pisces is a water sign, is the spiritual aspect of water, and it's where we dissolve back into the whole. The mantra of Pisces is I believe, and it tells us about the feeling of being part of everything, the feeling of not knowing separation from the other or from anything that is around us. It's remembering that we are one, incarnated in different shapes, forms, planes, worlds, vibrations, anything that you have in your mind, but intrinsically, we all come from one single thing, and we are all one. Because of that, it's also the sign of unconditionality, the sign of the connection to the divine, the connection to other planes. So the sign or the energy of psychic connection, of communicating with other planes, other dimensions, about sensitivity, unconditional love, inspiration, because it's directly connected to source. So inspiration and creativity. It also has its shadow sides, which are expressed in terms of confusion, illusion, the escapism of going to other planes, other worlds, disconnection from reality. In a much more practical way, it can mean drugs, addictions, even victim mentality, which we want to get out of. So let's see how we're going to use that archetype and how we're going to use this moon to move on with our spiritual advancement or spiritual path or consciousness path even. The first big information about this moon, and I want to say about this week, is an invitation to reset from a place of oneness and hyper flexibility. So if we go back to the context of this new moon, we're coming in the middle of or just after huge energy shifts like the Mahakumbh Mela, like the Mahashivratri, etc. And with the planetary parade, it's almost like it's ringing the bell for a new song that's going to be played. And Pisces is here to remind us that it is the time to manifest a new dream with a certain number of reminders that we should keep in mind. And I'll go through these. First of all, we have Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, that is connecting with the North Node. Remember, the North Node is what speaks about our collective destiny in your own chart, in your own personal chart. It's your own, let's say, direction in your incarnation, but collectively, it's our collective destiny. And it has moved into Pisces last month. And now it's together with Neptune, the ruler of Pisces. And this aspect sends us back into the depths of water. And what happens into the depths of water is the reign of silence, where we get information in different ways, through the waves, where you're in an air environment, you receive it through the vibration of sound. When you're into the sea, you receive it through the vibration on your skin, of how the water moves up against your skin, to make it very simple. So it's an invitation to go back within, really deep within, and to listen to what you feel. It's going back to that extreme sensitivity and making, acquiring that or borrowing that sensitivity, that ability to perceive subtle things inside of us. It's almost like, imagine being a baby in the womb and you're in the middle of this amniotic fluid. You're able to perceive everything. Whatever happens, you're able to perceive it. But deep within, you're in silence and you're perceiving things through that liquid in which you are bathing. And to perceive things, you do need the silence. To perceive subtle messages, to perceive things that are not visible to the eyes, or that you can listen to with your ears, or perceive with any of your other usual senses, you need silence. And this is one of the great invitations of this new moon, so that we can hear the message of the dream that we hold within, so that we can hear our higher self. Call it your higher self, call it the voice of God or the divine message, or whatever rocks your boat, but to listen to that subtle message from our source, where we come from. And the other part of this is to allow ourselves to be flexible, because sometimes we might hear things that go against what we have believed so far. Remember, Pisces is I believe. So it's a reminder to be flexible and allow ourselves to listen to something else, to a different song, to a different perspective, to something that maybe we have never thought about. And this is what this inner voice is whispering to us. Said in other terms, when we listen to that voice, we're surrendering the personal will to the divine will. But that's let's say, one step further. When we have established contact with that inner voice, and we recognize it as the, divine voice or our higher self, then we enter into the connection to divine will. So it's really a question of closing our eyes to see better, because we're going to get information, we're going to get inspiration from a much more subtle source. I hope you're following me. It's the opposite of what we're used to doing, but it's when we manage to get into that spot of silence, of stillness, then the information that we have access to is much, much more powerful. And the guidance we get is incredibly accurate. So that's one big theme. The second theme is, let's say, a continuation of that, and it's to get ready for a great reset or a great new beginning. I know we've been talking about change, new beginnings for months. And it's important to see it as a staircase, for example, where step after step after step after step, you're discovering, let's say, a new view, a new landscape, a new perspective. And each of those steps is changing something within and opens your eyes onto something new. In a month from now, on the 28th and 29th of March, we have an extraordinary configuration in the sky. First of all, we have an eclipse, but the solar eclipse. But the solar eclipse happens in a context that is really, really special. Most planets, if not all, will be gathering at the end, between the end of Pisces and the beginning of Aries. So between the end of the cycle of incarnation and the beginning of a new cycle. If that doesn't say great reset or great beginning, I don't know what does. So the idea is that we have one moon cycle to get ready for that. And for sure, if we look at the other moon cycles, we'll get another deadline to get ready for something else. But what's at stake at the moment, in the context of Pisces, the one that manifests the dream, that have access to all the information through its connection to oneness, and then that brings it into matter, this is what we're being asked to do. So to connect to sum it up, and I'll go into the detail, to connect to that voice within so that we can materialize it and start materialize it, in the new cycle, in the new moon cycle, 4 weeks from now. So to do that, remember to flow and to be flexible, means to let go of what we are used to seeing in a certain way and open to see things in a different way. And this is as much about trusting oneself as it is about accepting a change in our course and about accepting the possibility of making mistakes. What I mean by that is it's not always easy to recognize that inner voice or to recognize that the guidance that we are feeling within is the right guidance. But you know how you float on water? It's a little bit like this. You got to try. You got to try and listen to that voice and not be afraid of making mistakes, because that's how you train your ability to recognize when that voice is speaking from the source or speaking from your higher self or speaking from, a place of truth, from that little spark that we have all within. So allow yourself to flow, to swim in those waters. And allow the waters of Pisces to wash away things that need to let go. There's something very easy at this moment about letting go of things because it's like being under a constant shower. Things can be washed away in a very easy way. So make the most of it because it's so much more comfortable, right? When you have the help of the purification of water that is helping you wash away things. And the other thing is to connect deeply to the dream, to your inner world, your inner dream, so that you can make it a reality. And you know how sometimes the energies ask us to do some, not ask us, but they invite us to make some drastic changes. This type of energy is not about that. We're not being pushed to do like huge and sudden changes, but really to connect to the depth of our dream. Like really go be super honest with yourself, regardless of whether it seems feasible, possible. Am I too old? Am I too young? Am I too this, too that? It doesn't matter. What counts is your ability to plug yourself into your own dream and to plug into that essence that is unique to you. It's almost like having access to your own blueprint that sometimes we forget about or we lose sight of because we are raised in cultures and environments that don't necessarily teach us to connect to that. But this is the time to do it, to plug into that. And once you've plugged into that, it's also important that you maybe take one action. It doesn't have to be big. For example, you want to move homes, maybe start looking for a place in the area where you want to move. Doesn't matter if you have the money, if you have the means, if you know the date. Just physically bring that dream in a certain way into matter, and that just anchors things. That anchors the dream. And you see, pay attention to how you feel when you act on these dreams. It's really, really powerful, and it makes an imprint in yourself about the possibility of this happening. And what's really nice is at the moment, the universe is listening, it's all ears, it's almost begging for us to have those dreams so that it can help us manifest them. So just go full on, I would recommend. And we have help in connecting to that, in having the courage and the strength and the will to do that with Mars, that is trining the moon and the full moon and energizing us with the will power to do it, the courage to seek and face what we dream about. Because sometimes it can be things that we've abandoned thinking that it wasn't possible or whatever, but just go connect with that. That's the best fuel to move on and to become really what we need to become. Jupiter is helping as well. Jupiter, the great benevolent, the one that expands everything it touches. So it's expanding that entire energy while connecting to Pluto. Pluto, remember, is about transformation. It's about the destruction of what doesn't serve us and being reborn and using that, whatever we learned from that, into building something new. So Pluto is present in this moon through Jupiter in particular. Uranus, the great awakener, also is very involved in this new moon. It's beaming energy to all of what I've just said. And remember, Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and it's higher mind, it's truth, it's individuality, what makes you you, what makes you a unique person, a unique individual. It's about vibration, about finding your voice. And its energy is of big changes, of quantum changes, quantum jumps. So it does signal a massive change that is on its way. And it's almost like giving us a warning that we'd better be on board of that and get ready for it before it just sweeps us away and just takes us with the big wave. We also have Venus in Aries and Mars connecting to Venus in Aries. So it's energizing Venus and it's bringing passion, enthusiasm, boldness, especially in the things that make our heart sing. Remember, Aries is the sign of the I am, of who am I? And we have all that help to help us plug into what really makes our heart sing. And finally, we have Mercury, the messenger of the gods, that is connecting. There's a little gathering of planets already started to happen in Pisces. It's a stellium that involves Saturn, Neptune, Saturn, Neptune, Mercury, and the North Node. And Mercury is in the middle of that, and it's bringing inspiration, it's bringing guidance, it's bringing practical mind as well, ideas, and how to bring structure or ideas to build the structures that will support the dream. So, as usual, there's a lot of energy available for us to tap into to align with what's going on in the skies. The position of Mars can be a little bit confusing. It's in Cancer and it's not super comfortable there. So it can make us a little bit emotionally unstable in the sense that we might feel we have a pull for something and we pull back and then we go, oh, it's this, and we go back. So just pay attention to that if you find yourself going back and forth in what you feel you need or want. Just take a moment of stillness and just breathe and ask yourself once again. And don't allow yourself to be kind of made dizzy by this energy, because it can be dizzying, especially under the influence of Pisces, that can add to the confusion. More water. The last, let's say, chapter about this moon relates to more subtle messages that are in the sky at the moment. First of all, let's look at the Sabian symbol that corresponds to this moon. Remember, the Sabian symbols are let's say, energies. They qualify the energy of each degree of the zodiac in relation to where the moon is. So whenever the moon touches a certain degree out of the 360 degrees, it activates a certain information. And the overarching message, and I'll go into the detail of this third chapter, is to stay firm, to stay steady, and to keep going, even if you might see that there's chaos around you, that there's too much information, that you don't have a lot of clarity of what's happening around you. This moon is encouraging us to stay firm and to stay on our path and confident and to keep digging our groove. So looking at the Sabian symbol for this moon, it says, an aviator pursues his journey, flying through ground obscuring clouds. I think it speaks of itself. The aviator is the one that has a higher perspective on things. So that's the first thing that we can use for this moon, to keep our perspective very high and in a larger context than the maybe events, news, information that just can come at us and, let's say, swamps us into drama or into panic or into whatever extreme emotion that can destabilize us. So remember to stay with a high perspective. And that aviator pursues his journey, even if it doesn't see exactly what's happening on the ground, it's in the sky. So that's, I think, a great image to help us navigate through everything that is happening at the moment. So even if we don't understand fully what's happening or perceive all the implications of the information that we get in touch with and all of this, then what counts is to keep going into what we have set ourselves to do. And the other beautiful information that we have is we have the new moon conjunct a fixed star called Scat. You know that I love the fixed stars for the beautiful energy that they give us, for the sharpness of the messages, for the potency of their energy. So this fixed star is in the constellation of Aquarius, if we take the sidereal positioning. And it's associated to a story that we all know very well. It's the story of a man called Hasisadra, the hero of the deluge in Mesopotamia. And it is said that Hasisadra had a dream one day. He had the dream that there was going to be a deluge, that a great flood will come, and that he has to build a boat. And the next day, he woke up and built that boat and gathered his family, his friends, his pets, and a few animals, and put them in the boat. And the flood happened, and it destroyed the entire country. And they navigated in the storm for 7 days. And at the end of the seventh day, they were able to disembark and be on land again and prosper once again. That story tells us clearly about listening to our intuition, listening to the subtle messages that we get. And that when we do that, we are protected. We are supported. We are guided to do the right thing for ourselves. And I love the way it's expressed in this star. The Chinese also knew about this star. They call it, it symbolizes for them the warrior, bearer of the light, in the sense that it's the one that accepts the commitment to serve the light. And as a reward, we receive our wings and we get out of the cycle of involution. Another beautiful image, again, for this moon. That this symbolism in China speaks about commitment. It's about committing to the path. Knowing that when we commit to the path, the wings are the guidance. It's the ability to fly like the aviator that we were speaking about earlier, and to be above the suffering and to move on to a different plane. So with this star, we're really encouraged to, once again, it reinforces what I was saying earlier. We're encouraged to listen, to go within, to um, go on our groove, to um, not allow ourselves to be distracted or disturbed by things that we might not understand or things that are pulling us out of our axis. So it's very important at this moment to have a discipline. And this is also what will contain the water energy of Pisces, to have a discipline physically, I mean, either in your spiritual practice, it can be meditation, it can be yoga or Tai Chi or whatever is going to anchor the energy into your body and keeps you focused on Earth, so that you can receive that incredible amount of water and inspiration and guidance and all the great things that comes with it, so that we can receive it in a steady and open container. So it's a great moment of inspiration. It's a great moment of psychic connection. And I really hope you get to benefit from that and receive that. So if I were to summarize, look at the time already. This is a time to dive deep within, to find your flow, find your dream, and understand that you are the dreamer, the one that has the dream inside, and that everything you need, all the information that you need, is inside. That point within, that's your portal. Your portal is not outside, it's inside. That's how you go through to the other side, whatever side you want to go to. Second thing to remember, allow yourself to flow, but not to drown in your own waters, in your own emotions. That's why the spiritual discipline is important, and to keep yourself grounded. It can be breath, it can be go into nature, it can be meditation, as I said, anything that you know helps you ground yourself and keep a strong connection to reality without being overwhelmed by it. So that's the summary of this moon. I'm going to stop the recording for a minute to see if you have any questions. All right, so let's ask the people of the inner earth, of the Agartha, what message they have for us on this very, very special moon. And what else do we need to know, learn, pay attention to? Some days the card jumps very easily, and some days it doesn't, or there's too many. Maybe I'll choose one. I'll choose one. It's a message from the Hyperboreans called the transition. And we see a boat navigating on the Milky Way, it looks like it, with Saturn in the back, or a planet. So let's see what that means. Okay. We, the Hyperboreans, are the sovereigns of the spiritual world and its expansion, its diffusion. Like a great vessel, the Earth moves in stellar regions that are rising into new vibrations. With her, the Earth, all her children are entering in those new regions of the cosmic space, and the people on the surface is experiencing that too. Today, we would like to talk to you about this period of transition and the lack of signpost that you might feel. This in between two worlds, a model that is fading away and the new one that is being born. We advise you simply to entertain and direct your actions and your thoughts on the emerging model. You have the necessary energies to participate into its emergence. You do not have to worry about the ancient model and its collapse. Do not fear this transition. Accompany it with all your love and all your softness. The key is accompany and work for the world that you want to see be born on earth, and leave the old in its old web of the past. A lovely message, I think. Lovely, lovely. The transition. Okay, let's go to the... Yes, Susan, it's such a perfect message and a great reminder. Here we are, and let me... And now? Yeah? Super, thank you. Okay. Find a comfortable position and make sure you are seated and not lying down. We need our spine to be vertical so that we connect to the celestial energies in this very specific time. Once you've found your position, take a few deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. One more time, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let go of any thoughts, of any emotions, of any tensions, and give yourself this present moment, this time that we're going to spend together into this meditation. One last time, take a deep breath in. And when you're finished, come back to normal breathing. Close your eyes. And let's take a moment to acknowledge the body. If you need to, you can massage your body and caress it to bring your awareness to your physicality, to your physical presence here and now, and to acknowledge it fully. Give yourself a loving touch, a grateful touch for being here and for having chosen to live this specific moment. And when you're ready, come back to stillness. And allow yourself to feel the weight of your body and how it's supported by the floor, by the chair where you're sitting. And gently come back to your breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And now, let's place our attention on our root chakra. And become aware of that energetical center. And I visualize a bright red light emanating and surrounding that energetical center. And I mentally repeat the vibration Lam. Lam. Allow that vibration to blend with the color and to ripple outwardly all around me. And I go up and place my attention on my sacral chakra. And I surround it by a bright orange light, nourishing orange light full of vitality. And from there, I mentally pronounce the vibration Vam, Vam. And I maintain my focus, seeing how that energy center is vitalized, energized. And brought back into balance. And I go up, placing my awareness on my solar plexus. And I surround it with a bright golden yellow light. And I allow that light to harmonize, to balance, to align. And I mentally pronounce the vibration Ram, Ram. And I allow both the vibration of the sound and that of the color to ripple outwardly, to expand, while maintaining its intensity around my center, my energy center. And I move up 1 degree to the heart, visualizing a warm green light surrounding my heart, nourishing it. And I pronounce mentally the vibration Yam, Yam. And I move up 1 degree, connecting with my throat. And I visualize my throat surrounded by a celestial blue light. Filling all the space around my neck, front, back, sides. And I support the vibration of that color by mentally pronouncing the vibration hum, hum. Now allow that vibration to resonate in my vocal cords and to ripple outwardly. Filling the space around me. And I go up 1 step further to my third eye. And I surround my head with an indigo blue light. Deep blue indigo, the color of the masters. And I silently pronounce the vibration Om, Om. And I let that sound resonate all around. Finally, I place my attention on my crown. And I surround it with a deep violet light. And I silently pronounce the vibration Aum, Aum. And I release that vibration, allowing it to travel through the cosmos. And I stay there, completely silent, completely still. And I imagine myself joining the stars in the cosmos, with my body in full rainbow colors. And I listen. I listen to the echo of my song, the song of the planets, of all the celestial bodies that navigate through the cosmos. Now wait for their vibration to reach me. I start to hear an echo of celestial music, and I receive that, allowing myself to be part of the celestial symphony. And I'll start by recognizing the song of Uranus. I take my hands to my crown chakra, opening my crown and allowing the vibration of Uranus to come in, to infuse my entire body with its wisdom of truth, change, connection, and I allow all its attributes to nourish me. and to harmonize with my own vibration. And then I take my hands to my forehead, opening my third eye, allowing the song of Neptune to enter and resonate with my own song. I gently caress my forehead, allowing the attributes of Neptune to enter and harmonize with my song. The dreamer, giving me the sense of oneness, of compassion, of unconditional love, of inspiration. And I continue to my throat, caressing my neck, and connecting to the vibration of Mercury, the messenger of the gods, the master of communication, ideas, connection to others. And I allow it to join my own song and harmonize with my own vibration. And I go to my heart, and I place my both hands on my heart, holding the space for Venus to join my song, bringing love, joy, passion, beauty into everything that I am, allowing it to feed my dream, and to weave its wisdom into my song. And I place my hands on my solar plexus, and I hold that space for the moon, the one without which life wouldn't exist. The one that cycle after cycle allows us to grow food, to grow simply, and to evolve as humans. The one that rules our emotions. And I welcome its wisdom and attributes into my dream. And I place my hands now on my lower belly. And in there, I hold space for Pluto, the renewer, the one that creates life from the ashes, the one that brings transformation. And I allow it to weave its wisdom into my song. And I place my hands on my knees. And I massage my knees. Allowing Saturn to bring its part of the song into my song. The one that will help me create the structures to manifest my dream. The one that will push me to walk even further, to perfect what I want to manifest. The one that will use the will of Mars in my genitals to move on and to move further each time. And I welcome both their energies. Mars into my roots, Saturn into my knees. That will get expanded in my feet by the great benevolence of Jupiter. And I massage my ankles, allowing the vibration of Jupiter to make my steps even bigger, taking me even further, wherever I want to go. I take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now observe from my feet to my head, and from my head to my feet, along my spine, how the song of all these planets is being weaved into my own song, my own unique vibration. And I turn to the sun to activate this new symphony within, surrounding myself and allowing the light of the sun, the golden light of the sun, to surround me and ignite the new song that I has just created. And I sing. Mm. 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 Choose the sound, choose the melody you want to sing this new song with. Mm. Mm. And when you're ready, come back to silence. I am the silence that contains all possibilities. And I am the voice of the eternal being that manifests new realities. I believe I am. Mm. When you're ready, start externalizing yourself, moving your body, stretching. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you very much once again for being here. I wish you a wonderful new moon, wonderful planetary alignment, and a great 4 weeks until the eclipse in March. But we'll meet in between for the next full moon. Thank you very much.